Welcome to the Airedale. I'm Andrew Chronister.
And I'm Michael Farrell.
And today we will be talking about graduation, dance show, prom, plus much more coming up on
The Airedale.
Directly from the Alma High School News Studio, covering news and sports from where it matters. You're watching The Airedale.
Dance show is an annual tradition at Alma High School. Miss Murray and the entire dance team are excited to show off their skills. Grayson Hopper and Tyler Wilcox got the inside scoop of the development of the show.
As many of you may know, the Alma Dance Show was from April 30th through May the 1st and was a huge success. Miss Murray and her students have been working very hard to complete their production, so we decided to talk to Miss Murray about her thoughts on the show.
Our next dance event is Dance Show. Friday, April 25th, so a week from tomorrow, is our first performance, and that's for the middle school. And then we have 2 public shows on Saturday the 30th, 1 public show on Sunday, May 1st, and then the high school is actually going to be able to see the show on the morning of Monday, May 2nd. So we're really excited. I think it's going to be an awesome show. We have about 200 dancers. So our middle school program has about 91 kids, so that makes up almost half of our whole entire dance department. So we have 7th through 12th grade, and there's almost 200 total. Yeah, I think it's important to know that these are all of our dance classes, which is just an elective that you get to take if you want to. So some of the kids in the dance program are the dance team members, and so that's a tryout basis, but a lot of them, most of them are actually dance classes. So if anybody's sitting in the audience sees something that they might want to participate in, then that's something that they can actually be a part of. So we have dance appreciation, beginning, intermediate, and advanced at the high school. And so beginning, intermediate, and advanced are something you have to have approval for in order to get in, but dance appreciation is open to anybody, and it's a semester class. So if anyone sitting in the audience likes it and thinks that it looks fun, then that's something that they could be a part of next year.
I'm Grayson.
And I'm Tyler with Airwaves Media.
Procrastination can be something that high school students battle with often. It can be easy to put something off until the very last minute. Sarah Nutt and Seth Canales took a look into the issue that is affecting students.
There are a lot of little tasks thrown along your way in life. It could be walking the dog, studying for a test, and for us, even making these news stories. To a lot of those people, these little chores can be boring or stressful, and it may cause them to procrastinate. Procrastination is the feeling of, I don't want to, and pushing things off for later. We've all dealt with it, and today we'll talk about it, people that face it, and how to overcome it.
Procrastination can cause a lot of anxiety, so if you're already an anxious person, putting things off just makes that anxiety worse. So if you do the thing first off that you're dreading the most, which is usually whatever you're procrastinating about, it makes the rest of your day go smoother because there's nothing else that you're dreading.
People push off assignments because they're too difficult or they don't have motivation to complete them. The work eventually piles up, assignments go missing, and that's when your grade drops. But you can prevent that. Schedule maybe an hour out of your day to make up for missing work or homework. And if you don't understand the topic, don't be afraid to look up a video on YouTube explaining it, or even email or tell your teacher in person that you're struggling. Teachers procrastinate too. Sometimes they feel overwhelmed grading papers and doing their job outside of teaching the class head on. People procrastinate at other jobs too. Everyone has procrastinated at some point of their life. Students have, teachers have, and maybe even parents watching this video have. If you're procrastinating a lot, set goals for yourself and try to find motivation in life. I'm Sarah Nutt with Airwaves Media.
Well, Alma, graduation is coming up real fast, and it's sure to be an emotional event. Tegan Carlisle and Remy Scarber dove deeper into this topic.
Graduation here at Alma High School is coming up starting on May 14th. We talked to Mr. Kirkendall to tell us where and how we can go.
Commencement is really important for families. It's really important for students to have the opportunity to celebrate. And I think we took it for granted for a long time, but we saw the importance of it in 2020 when we almost didn't have it. We didn't have it until the end of July. So we almost didn't have it at all. And it didn't get to happen during the normal time during May because of COVID. So when you take something away, you realize how important it was. But it's a great time for families to get together. A lot of extended family comes in to watch students graduate and go across the stage to get their diploma. So it's a celebration of their accomplishments for the last 13 years. Because graduation's May 14th, 7 p.m. in our CBD arena. So it'll be inside. It's air conditioned. That way you don't have to worry about the elements outside. And You know, we had graduation outside in the football field 2 years ago because of COVID. Last year it was back in the arena, and that's what we're going to continue to do that. As of right now, we aren't going to limit the number of people. We limited it a little bit last year, but this year you can bring who you need to bring and who you want to bring. And we're going to, you know, we'll have a couple times where we'll practice prior to May 14th, so that we'll execute it without any problems, and hopefully it's going to be a great night.
I'm Tegan and Remy for AHS Media. Thank you for listening.
Summertime is coming closer and bringing warmer weather with it. Many like to wear shorts and looser clothing, but dress code is always a factor here at Alma High School. Ben Mitchell and Destiny Wheeler took a closer look into the Alma dress code.
When we talk about the dress code, we normally think of getting ready in the morning or getting in trouble for wearing something that we probably shouldn't be. Actually, people normally ignore the dress code and don't get in trouble for it. The weather is getting warmer, and it is becoming more of a problem to keep our school's dress code intact. As much as it is very boring to repeatedly discuss the dress code each year, it's also important to stress its importance. We came across this idea recently, realizing people are more commonly wearing things that make them get in trouble, so we here at Airwaves decided to ask for some guidance from the amazing Dr. Wood. Here she is to discuss the dress code.
Okay, the dress code really doesn't change for the summer. The dress code's the same all year. But a reminder I would give people for summertime is just to make sure to check your shorts, the length of your shorts, that they're below your fingertips when you're standing. Same thing with skirts. And then just a reminder that your shirt needs to come to the top of where your waistline is, and you shouldn't be showing any of your midriff. Another reminder in the summer that sometimes we forget about, which is shirts that have like spaghetti top straps. If you have something like that, just wear a little hoodie or something over it. And anything that shows, what I kind of tell people is like your pocket area, like that would show skin in that area, is inappropriate. So, or like same thing like midriff, like you shouldn't be showing any skin there. Dress code's in the student handbook, so you can get it off of our website, or if someone wanted it in writing, they could stop by here and we could give them a written copy.
This has been Lewis Alexander, Ben Mitchell, and Destiny Wheeler with Airwaves Media. Thank you for watching.
Serving your community can be a great way to get involved and help out. Mrs. France has been teaching community service learning as a way to encourage students to help out more. Jackson Freyaldenhoven took a closer look into CSL.
At Alma High School, we appreciate community service, and we influence our students throughout the whole district to be their very best. Students can currently sign up for a class, CSL, or Community Service Learning, and learn about how they can help out by doing acts of service towards their neighboring schools. According to the official Arkansas.gov website, community service learning is a method whereby students learn and develop through active participation in thoughtfully organized service that is conducted in and meets the needs of communities. I asked the CSL teacher here at Alma, Mrs. France, how she feels about community service learning.
It's a class where students actually go to other schools and they help teachers at the middle school, intermediate school, and primary schools. Basically, at the beginning of the school year, they're in here for a couple of weeks. We talk about what all community service learning means, and of course, it's also a type of leadership. It's working with others, helping teachers, and they also will go out in the community and volunteer during the spring semester. And in fact, all of them just wrap that up. So they do what we call a volunteer internship. And they go for 6 hours and they volunteer somewhere. So it's somewhere different than the...
Miss France is very passionate about teaching kids how simply helping people around their area can really go a long way. Though she understands that students, of course, have limited room in choosing elective classes, so I asked her why students should prioritize joining CSL.
Well, it's an opportunity to help others. Anytime you help others, that not only benefits the other person, it benefits yourself. I think it builds self-esteem to help others. I think it builds confidence to help others. And like I mentioned before, it looks really good on a job resume. It looks really good on scholarship applications. But I think mainly is the benefit that I see for my students. I've seen several of my students just grow, just mature and build this confidence. And it is responsibility. They have to leave here. They have to get over there at a certain time. They have to be there. They've got to help those teachers, help those students, and then come back to class on time. So I think it teaches life skills.
I also felt it was really important to see why Mrs. France is so passionate about community service learning. Let's listen to what she has to say.
Well, probably just because of what I've seen this year. Like I said, it's my first year to teach it, and so I was a little unsure, definitely, anytime it's your first year to teach something, but I hope that the school keeps this program, because I don't know, I think it helps the teachers at the other schools. I think a lot of them really appreciate the help that their students offer, and like I said, it offers something to the students that just going to English class or math class doesn't offer. So, and also I think it's a way, like, suppose you don't want to play a sport, or you don't want to sing, or you don't want to be in band. This offers something else besides those regular classes for a student that doesn't want to do some of those other activities. I mean, this offers an opportunity to actually help somebody in your community and do something besides just sitting in the classroom.
It was definitely a cool experience to learn all about CSL whenever interviewing Miss France and seeing how passionate she was as a teacher of community service learning, where students around the high school can go out and help all kinds of people out in different schools, with teachers especially, with everything they need help with, and really just learn how to service their community in the best way possible. This is Jackson Freldenhoven with Airways Media, signing off.
Coach Bowden teaches mobile app development here in Alma, an important trade in the modern day. Josh Wagley took a look into this program.
This year is the first year Alma High School has had computer coding, which, as the name entails, is a class that teaches students how to code computers. The idea came from the mobile app development class. Coding itself is a list of step-by-step instructions that get computers to do what you want them to do. Coding makes it possible for us to create computer software, games, apps, and websites. Coders, or programmers, are people who write the programs behind everything we see or do on a computer.
So the main coding type that we use in my classes is an object-oriented coding, which is basically where we have an objective we're trying to meet, if that makes sense. So like if our objective is to entertain people, obviously, you know, that's what we're trying to get to, whether that's via a functional app, whether that's more so of like a gaming entertainment type app, could be a multitude of different things, but we have a specific goal that we're trying to attain.
Coach Bowden states that math is not truly necessary to learn coding, but it can help. He only teaches 3 coding languages, but he knows more, which include Python, Java, C++, C#, block coding, and HTML. He believes that block coding is the easiest coding language to learn, and Java is the hardest to learn due to its complexity. These are the main languages he teaches.
We kind of hit 3 main ones. We're going to hit block coding for sure. That's usually kind of how we start, just because there's kids that have had experience in coding in this class, and there's kids that haven't. And so we usually kind of start with the block coding and they get them a good foundation, and then we work into Python, because Python's personally my favorite. I think it's a little bit easier. And then we transition from there, which is what we're in right now, is more into the Java HTML work side of coding. So
here is how his class runs.
So, you know, it just depends. So kind of how we've done it this year is started out with a little bit, like I said, block coding, getting kind of a base knowledge of where we sit as a class. And then we kind of move into more, I like this side of it, is the like hands-on, like circuitry, kind of how circuitry ties in the coding, how I manipulate electricity and things of that nature, just so they can physically see, like, hey, when I type in this is what's going on physically. So we kind of do that, and then we'll move into more like, you know, building of an application or games, something like that, and then into later. And we just kind of build off that later in the year into building games and apps and things like that.
Here is a student who made a game through coding.
This is a game that we've made. It is for the TSA theme, a video game to go in a museum. So it's all themed around pots, which are an element of a lot of games. They tend to have loot in them. And I figured it would be fun if we could have an entire game themed around getting loot from pots. There are 4 levels. The first one mostly just consists of pots, which will give you gold and items. The game has taken us since February to make, and all the backgrounds, the music, the design, the coding, it was all made by me and Carter. The music was made by Carter, and I did all the programming and artwork. These backgrounds were made in Blender by texturing in Sprite, modeling in a software called PicoCAD, exporting that to Blender, setting up the lighting, and then exporting that as a PNG that I could use in Scratch. Most of the game was programmed and made at our houses, but a significant portion was made in school through mobile app development.
Coding can be a good career for many professionals. Those with coding jobs often enjoy a high salary, work flexibility such as the ability to find a remote coding job, and plentiful job opportunities. For Airwaves Media, I'm Joshua Wagley.
History Day is a great opportunity for students to make connections and build opportunities for themselves doing their projects for History Day. Evan Sanderson took a deeper look into the Arkansas State History Day competition.
Elma District students travel to the University of Central Arkansas to compete in State History Day. Erin Mills says that she's proud of her students.
State History Day is because History Day is divided up in Arkansas into several different regions, and each region has a contest. And what happens is that the first, second, and third place winners from each region then get to go to the campus of UCA in Conway, and they get to compete again. All right, so students from around the state then gather at UCA and compete against each other in the different categories, and then they have the first, second, and third place winners for those categories.
Ms. Mills received the Arkansas nomination for the Teacher of the Year award to be given during the National History Day in June. She looks forward to it every year.
Well, of course, at state, as a region coordinator as well as a teacher, it's always fun to get to see the projects and what they look like from around the state, because of course obviously I've seen the Alma projects and I've seen the region projects. It's good to get to see projects from around the state. Also, of course, obviously, since I've been involved in History Day for so long, I also get to catch up with some people that I have known for several years through the work of History Day. And of course, also, it's just fun to be on UCA's campus. It's beautiful, and it always happens in the spring, and it's just nice. It's a nice Saturday to get out of town. And
Senior Annabeth Sanderson was one of the many students who committed in State History Day.
What I was looking forward to was spending time with my friends, really, and just getting to see all the other really good projects that people brought. I really didn't care about winning that much. So I had an exhibit project, and me and my partner, Maddie Major, we presented.
She said it was a good time to spend with her friends.
We really just got to explore the campus and hang out with friends and go and eat. That was really it was spending a day with my friends, which is what I had wanted.
For Airwaves Media, I'm Evan Sanderson.
Prom is a time for juniors and seniors to let go and have some fun as they head for the end of the year. Jackson Frey Aldenhoven and Evan Sanderson took a look at the annual dance.
A night to remember. That is how many students at the Alma High School described the 2022 AHS Prom that happened on April 23rd of this year. There was a slew of different music of all kinds of genres, and you could dance as much as you wanted.
The theme for this year's prom is Out of This World.
So the AHS art students and student council, along with help from Miss Blackwell, who is a teacher of home ec, and other subjects, worked hard in putting amazing effort into their decorations. The 2022 AHS Prom even had their own resident DJ, who mixed their own remixes of popular songs. Most importantly, the prom king and queen were announced. The prom king of 2022, Gene Alexander, and the prom queen being Macy Robbins. It was definitely a lot of fun being able to film for prom, being able to see people dance and have the time of their life. As only a sophomore in high school, it's definitely a very big excitement to be able to do that next year. And I hope this news story makes you excited for you to hopefully come next year as well. This is Jackson Fraudenhoven from Airwaves Media, signing off.
Mrs. Thixton is traveling to Washington, D.C. for professional development. Ethan Moore and Dalton Davis talked to her about how and why she is going to the national capital.
I've
Have you ever wanted to go to Washington, D.C.? Well, here's how Miss Thixton got the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C.
I had actually first heard about this. My mom had done it a few years ago, but I knew that it was an opportunity that was free for teachers. So I thought, you know, this sounds like a good year to give it a try, and I applied and was lucky enough to be selected to go.
Here's when Miss Thixton will be in Washington, D.C. and how long she'll be there.
We'll leave here on the 4th of July, actually, and get to spend the 4th of July in Washington, D.C., and then I will come back on July the 9th.
Here's what Miss Thixton will be doing in Washington, D.C.
So I'll actually be staying at Mount Vernon, which is outside of Washington, D.C. in Alexandria, and we will be doing workshops all day. We'll be getting to learn about George Washington and his family and his work. And how we can use lessons learned from him in the classroom, in our teaching. So I'll spend most of my time at Mount Vernon, which was his home.
Here's what Miss Thixton is most looking forward to about the trip.
I'm really excited just to get to go and be there and be around different people, to get to learn some new things, to get to tour his gardens, to get to see his home, and just, get to learn new things and hopefully maybe get to do some touristy type things too.
This is Jace Bruntley and Stetson Goodson from Airwaves Media.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Airedale. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on all of our social media at Airwaves Media. And as always, go Airedales!